Yo! How's it going, everyone? I wait for my camera to catch up and stop being glitchy, and then I talk. How's it going, everybody? It's snowing. Oh, I forgot to change the wallpaper background. Damn it. Wait, 1 second. I had something for this. It's not MHA anymore. Yeah, Christmas. Yeah, Chris. There we go. Is your sister-in-law's birthday too? Well, man? I feel like people must time it perfectly. Like, I want my kid's birthday to be either on Christmas or like the day after, or the day. It has to be a Christmas baby. Like, how does that happen to so many people? Is this another thing to add to the oopsie I'm a pro streamer I swear list? That's not a list. You don't have access to my computer. What are you talking about, Coco? Yeah, no, damn, I downloaded like snow effects. I went through music to pick it out. I even searched for this picture for the background. I just forgot to apply it. Damn it, I spent like a good hour and a half on this, guys. Oh, you were a week early. I was late. I was a very late baby. I think my mom was in labor for like 3 days. It was not fun. What's 40 weeks before Christmas? 40 weeks? Coffee Cut's birthday? Is it a trick question? I don't know. What's 40? I can't math of months. What's 40 days before Christmas? Also, let me know if the music's too loud or too quiet. I can fix it. Oh, thank you so much. Was in November. Yeah. So it's not. Would that not be 40 days beforehand? Isn't that close to 40 days? Because it's like there's 30 days in a month. Look, I'm so angry at my mic program. It's supposed to save my defaults every time I turn it off, but it keeps resetting to max volume every time I turn it on. Ugh. I was asking. I know about the right amount of time before my birthday is Valentine's. Oh, you were asking. Oh, I have no idea then. Test. Ah! That's a good volume. Okay. Sorry. There we go. Test. Good. Okay, sorry, just wanted to make sure nothing else is running in the background to slow stream down or anything, but we're good. We're Gucci. He didn't know the difference between vitamin C and calcium. What are the chances he knows human gestation is 40 weeks? Human gestation? Gestation? What's that? Oh, pregnancy. Oh, I follow now. Okay. I was like, what the hell are we talking about? I follow now. County counts. I don't know. What is 40 weeks? But I don't. What is the event that's making people make love? What is it? What's happening? Big brain. Listen. It's big because it's lazy. It doesn't get enough exercise. My brain needs to work out more, okay? And that's why we're playing the Great Ace Attorney, so I can, do mental stuff, get good at math and mysteries, brain teasers, all that fun stuff. Have you guys ever played Brain Academy? it always looked interesting, but I feel like I would feel so insecure playing it and playing those games where it's like, just like constantly teasing your brain and trying to get you to get smarter. I'm like, no, I'm not smart enough to play this. I was probably made on Valentine's Day. Ew, ew. At least you're not born on Valentine's Day, Coffee Cups. That's when my brother's birthday is. Made on I don't want to do that math and find out when I would. No, don't need to do that. Don't want to do that. No. Blech. Anyways, moving on. Let's change the subject to anything else. Do you guys have your Christmas tree up yet? If you celebrate Christmas? I was made shortly before my parents. I should change the subject. I was made shortly before my parents got married. I know this because my mom was pregnant then, but she didn't know. Oh, interesting. I mean, interesting that she went through the wedding not knowing she was pregnant. Wait. That's not good. People drink a lot during their weddings. I feel like. Coco, are you okay? Technically, I was at my parents' wedding. Oh my god! It took my parents 5 years to get pregnant. Damn, 5 years. Wow, they really planned it. That's a creepy thing to know about yourself. That is a creepy thing to know about yourself. Your conception took 5 years to plan out. I don't like it. Changing the subject. Anyone have their Christmas tree up yet? My parents do. My family does. They had it up before December even. You guys, I think I told you. I showed the picture of like Ruin the Tree. It's up. It's ready to go. It's ready for Christmas. Any of you guys celebrate anything other than Christmas? Would it count if it was made out of boxes? Yes, it would, Ace. Yo, how's it going, Ace? My apartment is a Christmas free zone. Ah, gotcha. I'm a humbug. Bah, humbug. That's okay, Coffee Cups. We still love you regardless. Christmas is just, it's special to me. It's my favorite, you know. But yeah, I made out of boxes. I kind of want to see this picture, this box tree, Ace. I was a very planned baby, but I don't like being told what to do, so I decided to be born a girl instead of a boy like my parents wanted. They planned for you to be a boy? You wanted 3 boys? Why? Yeah. And then you went, nah, I'm not gonna risk it again. That's so funny. We have our Christmas tree up. My mom isn't insisting on having a tree topper, but she keeps buying ones that are too heavy, and she refuses to listen to me when I try to explain the laws of physics. We always have the same one. We have an angel on top of our trees. It was like my mom's when she was a kid or something. We have 1 million boxes. I will definitely make a tree out of boxes later. Yes, please, A's. Yes, can you draw little ornaments on them and stuff, like little lights? Make it look Christmassy, you know? I love that. My parents had me, and then they did this method to specifically get a girl. I don't remember what it was, but like they contacted a professional and was like, you have to do this, 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 and this to make sure, you know, your next child comes out a girl. And they were like, all right. And sure, it's a 50-50 coin toss, but my sister came out next. And then there were two more boys. So maybe it worked. Maybe it was just luck. I don't. A professional, I know, right? To cover up the knife holes. The knife holes? Wait, are you stabbing boxes? What were these boxes for? Were you making holes in it so something could live inside the box? I have so many questions. I don't know if I want the answers. But so many questions. catching snow. They were grocery boxes, but one of our friends likes to come over and stab the boxes. You have questionable friends, Ace. I like that. I like that. I bet life is never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. That used to be the Family Channel slogan. Never a dull moment with family. No, it's never a dull moment. In real life as well. No, it looks more like dandruff than snow. Ew, no, it's snow. This is definitely snow. It's just falling really, really gently. They don't have their own boxes. Yeah, wait, why do they have to come over and stab your boxes? They're also our D&D master. I don't know if that adds context to it. That's more like a fun fact. That doesn't clarify anything. I still want to know why they're stabbing boxes. Also, your D&D sessions must be fun. To have a master that likes to go around stabbing boxes. I feel like they're very chaotic evil? Chaotic neutral? I don't know, something chaotic something. So they are weird. Dungeon masters usually enjoy watching their players suffer. Okay, you know what? That's a link. That's true. That's true. If I was a dungeon master, I would absolutely want my players to suffer. But like psychologically, I would want them to think about things, you know? I've seen videos being like text every person in the party to roll a d20 and be like, and then respond regardless of what their answer is, being like, you are not the intruder or something, or you are not the fake, and everyone goes like, wait, who's the fake then? Like I would love to do stuff like that. I should know. My DM keeps saying my character is tiny familiar, which only has 5 HP. Should be a meat shield. No! That's so cruel! No! I don't stand for that. They don't have their own boxes or fishing knives to stab a box with. Wait. So they don't even use their own knives? They come to your house, grab your knives, and then stab your boxes with them? That seems a bit insulting at that point. I don't know, Ace. I don't know about that. No, they're not hard to come by, but like, I don't know, when you have a box, it's not like a bag, you know? They're not, it's like, bags are common, but boxes are uncommon. And like, you know how there's like rare, ultra, whatever. Like if they were a trading card, it would be like, plastic bags are like common. They mean nothing, but like boxes are uncommon. They're like, you'll find them here and there, but like they're not everywhere, you know? You gotta be kind of careful with them when you have them, you know? Gotta look out for them. Welcome to ASMR coffee slurping with ColeHillChills. ColeHillChills. For those who didn't see the Discord, we went to Starbucks the other day, and every time we go to a Starbucks, they always ask, "Oh, and what's your name?" And they're like, "No," and I just put her name on it. They're like, "No, what's your name?" I'm like, "Okay, Cole." And then they just give me the, huh? I'm like, I knew this was, and then Glenn will spell it out because I don't know letters in Spanish yet, and yet they still wrote S-O-L-E. Sole. Ale. Yeah, that's my new name apparently. Do you think if I go to Starbucks and I say Sole, they'll know? They'll be like, ah, yes, Sole. Yes, of course. Non-English speaker have a hard time of my relative too. Yeah, that's so funny, Coffee Guts, because like both of our names I would think are super easy to pronounce regardless, you know, but no, it is tricky. I can see them spelling it wrong. I can absolutely see them spelling it wrong. But like even once like people know my name here, they still have a trouble pronouncing it. It's like Cole. Cole. That's how Glum's mom calls me. It's adorable. Cole. It's so cute. Oh, let me boot up the game here so we can get lowering. She tries her best, and it's adorable. I really appreciate it. I need to change the game. There we go. I mean, of course, they pronounce it with an accent. Vowels are where the accent. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I still struggle with them sometimes. Won't lie. Won't lie, guys. Won't lie. Where were we? We were analyzing stuff. Right. We were like, oh, we need to go into the room. We need to like look at things, and now we're doing just that. We are. Oh, that's right. We did they crossed their eyes. They saw the two cat pictures. Let's analyze some stuff we have, shall we? The Hannah Baskervilles. Oh, we did that one. She's like, oh, I can't tell you why I know of it yet. R that needs to be rolled. Them R's trip me up with Spanish. Oh, I can't do it. I can't roll my R's. Did we look at this part already?
Mr. Naruto, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's something rather troubling here. I've noticed. The red smear, you mean? Yes, it looks like blood, doesn't it? I wonder if she's out and I picked up on that. Well, in that case, yes, we need Iris.
Oh, cool. We can get her to analyze it. So let's analyze it. No, I want... Huh? Yes, I want... We need Iris. We need Iris. You. Can I use it? I want to analyze it. Do I have to find Iris? Wow, this is a... Oh, there you are. Present. Ah, ha 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 ha. There we go.
Oh, that looks like blood.
It is blood. It is in fact blood.
I would say it's from a gloved finger. Almost certainly a glove made with leather.
Those glasses are so cute.
Well, don't worry, Bruno. You can leave the rest to me.
Purple? It's a different blood color.
Look at that. Yes, that's a color we haven't seen before, isn't it? We simply must add it to the portfolio of blood samples. It could be an important clue. Although, it would be nice to find out whose blood these different colors correspond to at some point. Well, this particular stain of blood... Oh, you've had an idea, haven't you? Do you know whose blood this is?
No? Owned by Mr. Windybank. No idea.
How could I? We don't have a known sample of the color. Without it, it's impossible to know. Oh, how very vexing. I wonder. What? Well, it's true that the color doesn't help us, But what about considering how the mark came to be there in the first place? You might have an idea about that. Might you, Runo?
I have no clue.
Not if you keep staring at me like that, no. Let's try that again, shall we?
What? Just tell me. Just tell me. Aw, Woolly Bear.
Not from the colors return, but with a little deduction. That's right, I think it's clear.
Oh, it is?
Iris, you know as well? You're first, Runo. Who do you think it belongs to? Alright, I believe that it's the blood of
Magnus McGilded, Gino Lestred, Thrice Fried Mason, Pop Windybank. Well, I don't think it's McGilded. Gina wasn't bleeding. Windybank? No, because it was blue.
You think somehow it could be Mr. Windybank's blood? Well, you would have been the last person to have handled the ticket. Sometimes the simplest answer is the right one. But Mr. Windybank had no injuries. Before he was shot, that is. We're trying to work out who the blood came from.
Just tell me then!
So we can rule out anyone who hadn't been bleeding straight away.
You know when you're in, like, let's say math class, and the teacher's like, you know the answer, you know it, and they're like trying to guide you towards it. Sometimes that's helpful, because you're like, oh, I get it. Other times, you are so lost, you just need the answer. Like, ma'am, I appreciate it, I really do, but I really just need the answer. I am clueless, I have no idea where we are. That's where I am with this. I just need you to tell me whose blood it is. It's the way I keep getting spam called by a spam number. I'm just trying to watch a stream. No! I got one from here the other day. I got so many when I had a Canadian phone number, but this is the first time I've had it ever since coming here.
Yes, of course. Funny enough, I have accidentally cut myself before, but thanks for the mildly threatening advice, Iris.
Oh my god. Just tell me who it was. Who's Thrice Fried Mason? I don't remember who this is. Egbert Benedict. Who's Thrice Fried Mason? I don't remember who that is. Let's try it.
Thrice Fried Mason. You don't sound very sure of yourself, the way you trailed off there. Well, it was 2 months ago now, that case. And of course I'd never met the victim. So I'm struggling to remember his name.
They've called me 6 times and it just changed the number by 1, so it's virtually oh my god, no. I think, have you tried being like, please don't call this number again? Because I think they can take you off their phone number list. I don't know if they will, but that has worked for my dad in the past. I had a math teacher that if you had a hard time with a homework equation, would make you stand up and try to work out in front of the whole class. So any shy kids never ask questions. That's so stupid. Oh, you're having a hard time? Here, let's also put pressure on top of you. You're not, no, that's so dumb. You want to be able to feel like you can ask questions, not be afraid to ask questions. Is someone speaking Mandarin? Oh, well, never mind then. Never mind that. Wow, yeah, no, that doesn't help, does it? I also got bots a lot. It was always robots talking to me. And like, bro, I know I'm a robot, but like, I can't communicate to other robots. That's not how this works.
He was definitely thrice fried, though.
Oh, this was the victim McGilded supposedly killed.
The victim? Of the omnibus case? Yes. His name was indeed Mr. Thrice Fried Mason. But that would mean that his bloodstain was left on the ticket 2 months ago.
Oh wow, I got it right.
Yes, I think it was. Gina brought this ticket here to Windy Banks yesterday. And I'm suggesting the bloodstain was already on it at the time. So it's a smear of blood from the time that Mr. Mason was killed 2 months ago.
They always leave voicemails, and I'm like, please, yes, I hate waiting for a voicemail, being like, oh, maybe it's a job interview, and like, no, it's like, hello, your credit card number has been stolen. Please contact the blah, 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 blah. If you would like to know, sir, no, just no. Stand up and show all your peers how stupid you are. I hate that. I hate that so much. Even when I ask a question, I would ask it quiet enough so that only the teacher heard me, not other kids around me, you know?
Something else is coming back to me now. Mr. McGilded was also wearing leather gloves that night.
Yo! Drippy's in the house! Wah, wah. Drippy, Drippy, and Drippy Town. Gonna take you to Drippy Town. Now I ask yours. Well, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? Right. Gloves. I love this music.
It certainly does look like a leather glove thumbprint, this mark.
Why? Why not, Drippy? Why not?
But we know that Mr. McGilded had no injuries at the time, anywhere on his body. From which we can conclude that any blood on the glove belonged to the victim, Mr. Mason. Mr. Naruto, you sound just like Mr. Sholmes. Minus the quirky slip-ups, I hope. Yes, I think you're right, Runo. Very well. Let's make a note of this.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Can we reanalyze this now?
Mr. Windybank appears to have used the back of this photograph to write out a redemption ticket. He's written it very neatly, but still, perhaps he ran out of paper, so had to use anything he had on hand.
So, whose was this then?
It's hard to know what's the front and what's the reverse side now.
Oh, Windy Banks. Okay, it is in fact Windy Banks. Okay, noted. Wait, then whose is this one? Windy Banks. One small box. So he had one redemption for a box and one for a coat? Interesting. Yo, Teresa, how's it going? What's ew? What's ew? I guess I examine more then? Yo, Bobby. Instructions from the yard are to examine every article in the shop and every ledger and book of accounts. Wow, that's a lot of work.
Every article? But that's a ridiculous amount of work, surely.
We've been hard at it ever since the shop was declared a crime scene in the early hours. I miss my wife. We're sifting through it all in shifts at least, but still, I want to sleep. We'll be working through the night, that's for sure, and even then we'll barely have scratched the surface.
A crime in a pawnbroker's. It must be every policeman's worst nightmare.
When I see, God damn it, Jippy. How dare, how dare. It's every copper's worst nightmare, you know. A crime in a pawnbroker's. Oh, thanks for confirming my thoughts. Oh. sorry. Gotta get back to work. Oh, I guess the Bobby would say the exact same stuff. All right. A shelf.
The shelves were at the pawnbroker, but puts articles that have been forfeited on display for customers to buy. Yes, it's really strange, miscellany, isn't it? I mean, who would buy this? A horse statue, for example. Well, sometimes you can find some real treasures among all the junk, you know? Are you alright, Bruno? Oh, it's just, well, it looks like a collection of useless junk as a whole. But when you pick out individual things, you can't help wishing you owned them. Even that horse statue. Why? That's exactly how the pawnbrokers work. They're very clever.
I like Weird Voices Day. Lots of opportunities to sidetrack everything with my inane aside. Wait, what? Weird Voices Day? You mean like when I stream Ace Attorney? Oh, it's a crocodile up there. Crikey, mate. Oops. What else can I analyze? Oh, this Bobby's different.
This officer has been staring intently at the wall since before we came in here.
Oh yes, there's blood and a bullet on the calendar. Sure, just keep it down. Yeah, Ace Attorney is Weird Voices Day. I love that. Every Saturday is Weird Voices Day, except for today's Tuesday.
Oh, sorry.
There's a major clue just here.
Really? Then we must tell Gregsy at once.
But as soon as I report it, that'll be it. And I'll be stuck even longer.
Stuck here? What do you mean?
I haven't been home in 2 days already. I need another constable to relieve me and take over me shift, yeah.
Huh. They really have a tough time, the British police. That doesn't stop us investigating, though, does it? No, I suppose not. I'm fairly sure it was a calendar he was peering at.
Yes, it was.
Ah, look here. Oh, yes, a bullet hole. And I can see the bullet is still lodged in the wall. Presumably, Mr. Winniebank wasn't practicing with this revolver in his spare time. Ah! Ah, well. Mr. Sholmes likes to...
Sorry, guys.
Mr. Sholmes likes to practice in his drawing room whenever he can. He's very patriotic like that. Sorry? It's all there in the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, you know? Isn't that right, Iris? Did I write something like that? Partly in jest, perhaps. In jest? Well, he doesn't do it often. It is quite dangerous pastime. He doesn't do it often. He shouldn't even do it once.
Yeah, I don't trust that man with a gun.
Forget that now, Bruno. Let's examine this bullet.
He isn't American.
What's that around the bullet hole? Is it blood? A suspicious red stain on the calendar.
It's not suspicious. That is definitely blood.
Aha! This is where I come in. Oh, right. If the blood changes to be the same color as a sample from the storeroom, we'll know that it's Mr. Winniebank's blood.
I think it's gonna be Shirley's, isn't it?
Exactly. Here we go then.
Going around ruining crime scenes. Ew! Shrek was here?
It's a completely different color than that Mr. Winniebank's blood turned in the analysis.
And now it's red again. Bruh.
It just goes to show, things don't always go according to plan, do they? Nevertheless, we must add the sample to the results of the other blood analysis.
Great. So we got Barney, Shrek, and Sonic's blood then. Perfect. Yeah, green blood does seem wrong somehow.
Oh, there are all sorts of different colors. There are pretty pinks and purples too, you know. Like I said, everyone's blood is different. I wonder what color my blood would turn out. Actually, I don't want to know.
Is there anything else to do? I don't think so. High velocity blood splatter. Indeed high velocity. Like, wow, it flew. Yep. We know about this thing already. Yes. And then the big one. I think we're done looking at things. I think. / hope. Maybe now we can move somewhere. Move somewhere new. Can we go to the hospital? Is he awake now? Hello, Shirley. No? Damn it. The prison? Nope. Baker Street. Oh, there's a horse. Look at this horse. Hey, look at him.
There's still a skull and yard carriage outside Windy Banks. I never imagined we'd be investigating a case so close to home. Poor Iris, she's very upset by all this. I'm sorry, I was there. I should have done more. None of this is your fault, Runo. So please don't apologize. But it's the criminals who are to blame for all this. So let's investigate and work out how to catch them. Yes, you're right.
Oh, I wanted to talk to the horse. I wanted to pet the horse. One of the Professor Horse. Every time I see the horse now, Jimmy, that video was something else. I've never been more invested in a video you've sent me before. And when the van drives by, bro, I didn't know they were going that fast. Yo, Geekster, how's it going, man? No, not yet. We're working on it. We're working. We haven't even gone to court yet. This is supposed to be the shortest case, I believe. But no, we are not there yet. Hi. I think we've examined everything in here. Yeah? Yeah. Converse? No. Can we show you something? Hey dude. Blood.
Can you give me your opinion about this, do you think?
We don't tend to share sunshine. Not with the general public.
Nug! In that case, Gregsy, how about some herbal tea?
Oh my god, stop. This man's gonna have to pee so badly. They keep drowning him with tea. Ah, lovely. Thank you very much. That's really hit the spot, your ladyship.
You don't mind sharing that then?
No? Ugh. Here. Blood. No blood? Okay. No, stop giving this man. I'm not. I would like a heroified version of what has happened. From last stream, nothing. All we've been doing is analyzing stuff, Geekster. That's literally all we've done. We found blood though. We found blood. That was it. We got green blood, purple blood, and blue blood. They were playing Splatoon. else to do, man. He doesn't want blood. He doesn't want blood. Do you want to know?
What do you make of this?
Ah, what are we here then? A redemption ticket for an article deposited here, is it? Looks like someone ran out of the office stationery and wrote a ticket on whatever paper was at hand. Yes, this is the ticket of Mr. McGilda's overcoat. The one that little diver turned up with yesterday.
Oh, actually, no, it's not.
Really? Think you know better than me, do ya?
No, I didn't mean to, Bruno's right, Gregsy. It isn't the same ticket.
That sounds cool. Oh, it's very, very cool. Very cool, Geekster. Very cool. This week has been wispy-waspy for me. Wishy-washy. The whole crush thing. My exams. Yeah, fun. Yeah, fun. Yeah, exams. Yeah. How's the crush thing going, Geekster? How is Elias? You know, has he shown any more interest lately? has he you know, come forward with any new you know, news or anything? Examine what date the calendar is on. See, I tried to examine it, but all it did was like, oh, look, blood. That's weird. You remember his name? My heart stopped. We had a giant conversation last stream trying to pronounce his name and how I randomly guessed it right. I would remember. Can he be the 300th follower? Yes, please. That'd be amazing. Feel broken? Not even the jokey emo way. No, Kiki, no. You're not. No, I'm sorry, buddy. No. That's my response to that. Just no. Just no. You got it, man. You got this. Don't worry. Either Elias will come around or someone better will come around. Those are the only two options, Geeky. Those are the only two options. It'll happen.
Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. I never doubted you, your ladyship. So, what's all this about then, if I might be so bold as to ask?
This is a second ticket.
A second one?
It seems that Mr. McGilda, in fact, had another article in the storage room here at Winniebanks.
Is that right?
I think we need to discuss this further with the inspector, Mr. Naruto. Oh, good, because he's ever so easy to talk to.
Amazing. I've been constantly looking into lyrics and realized half the songs about love never resonate with me. What in the foreshadowing? It's funny how all of a sudden, you know, you can relate to so many songs like that. I get that.
This ticket was one of the pockets of Mr. McGilda's overcoats.
Hey? You mean to tell me?
Yes, there was more than just a music box disc, it seems.
Humph. I should have investigated on the lad's taking it back to the yard and examined it properly.
Well, according to the details on this ticket, Mr. McGilda deposited another article here with Mr. Winniebank.
Yes, I can see it's written here. A small box was it.
Do you have any idea where it is, Gregsy? Any idea at all? Is another article belonging to Mr. McGilda? It could be an important clue.
Well, yes, I suppose it could be. Please, stop looking at me with those big turquoise eyes. I'm full of hope and expectation. It's too much pressure. I'll lose me marbles, I will. I'll go barking.
You go barking? Is that a phrase in the UK? I'll go barking? Woof.
Well, this is no time for dog impressions, Inspector.
That's enough sauce from you, Sunshine. There is one thing that springs to mind. According to this ticket, the redemption's deadline's already passed, hasn't it?
I've been writing up a journal. I thought I would never do that because I thought it was cringe, but look how vulnerable I've become. No! I could never write in a journal. I would feel so I'd be, you know when you're reading something and all of a sudden you think about that you're reading something and it completely takes you out. You're like, I'm reading a book right now. I'm reading these words in front of me. That's how I would feel if I was writing writing in a journal. Like, I'm writing my thoughts down. These are my thoughts coming from my head. I am writing them from my brain to my pen. I would just completely be out of it.
Oh, yes, of course. Articles are only held for 2 months.
It's an old-timey phrase. I kept a journal during the pandemic because I was so stressed. Aww, I'm not knocking them at all. I think they're great, and I love that people like you guys can actually use them. I just personally I couldn't. I love books though, like journals to write, and they're so pretty. The ones you see, like I see them in stores and go, oh, makes me want to actually write stuff down, but no. I try to avoid him so I can let him indulge the situation, but he keeps talking to me, which I love and hate. And he's made a huge misunderstanding of the situation, which I want to explain to him, but he's talking. Wait, how did he? What did he? What? A huge misunderstanding? What's the misunderstanding? What is it? I need to know. Is this part 2 of the story? I love that you're like trying to give him space, like, oh, maybe he'll think of me, but then he just talks to you anyways.
So, the small box will no longer be in here then.
That's right. It's been forfeited.
Which means it could be on the shelves in the front of the shop, where the forfeited items are offered for sale. Yes, the shelves are in the front. We must search them at once.
You're wasting your time.
Oh!
There are little boxes out there. Hundreds even. We can't possibly know which one might have been in McGilden's. There's information not written in the ledger.
Hug. But I think we should at least have a look, just in case.
Of course. Your ladyship, of course. Very sensible of you, I'm sure.
When you were the right level of stress and there's nothing you can do about it, is causing the stress. Suddenly writing it down makes sense. No, that definitely makes sense. Absolutely. Whenever I feel overwhelmed, I will make a list of things I need to do, and then looking at it and go, okay, I feel less overwhelmed now. I just deleted my paragraph to agree to that, and that's literally what's been happening. Cool. That's so funny. I can totally picture it though. You're like you're trying to make him like, oh, I miss Geekster. Like, man, I haven't seen him in a while. Maybe I should talk to him. Wait, maybe I don't just miss him. Maybe I have like feelings for him. You know? But instead he goes, oh, hey man, what's up? Like, no, give me like, space. Miss me. Think about me. And I could never text him. Texting can't show the emotion I'm giving. Miss me. I want to ask if I can talk to him, but don't even know how to start. Like, can we talk? Ew, I might even do a funeral. I hate that. Can we talk? That's the worst phrase. I wish that phrase just didn't exist. Miss me. Huh. Man, there seems to be like a Geekster-sized hole in my heart. I miss him. God damn it. You guys made me laugh. This is getting old. Check Discord. Hello? Hi? Oh. Okay, that was unexpected. Well then. Drippy, I swear. Drippy just private messaged me saying, "Can we talk?" No, no, we can't, Drippy. If it's not in public, we can't talk. I don't want to know what you have to say. God damn it. What? What? You sent me a video of a guy doing a backflip into water. Why? Why, Drippy? Why? Oh my god, that scared the hell out of me! I looked at chat, and the exact second I look back, an animated shark came up out of the water and like pretended to eat him, but it looked so real. It scared me so bad. The water's so clear. There's obviously nothing in it. But all of a sudden the shark was yum. GP, I'm not looking at your messages anymore. Taylor Swift is my therapy. God damn it, you guys.
I nearly jumped out of my skin there. How could Windy Banks get such a wicked trap?
I doubt he set out to scare anyone.
Is that really the time? I think perhaps we should pay Gina another visit soon.
Oh!
Her trial is tomorrow. We must establish whether or not you will be defending her. I think we should ask her one more time. One more time. She may have changed her mind.
Do I have to?
Oh god, no, don't look at me cross-eyed again. So, the misunderstanding is how we flirted as a joke months ago. And he thinks because I've confessed to him, he's led me on? Sir, I'm trying to tell you I liked you a year ago. Oh, no. Like, it's like, oh, no. I Geisha thought I was serious. Oh, that's something you can definitely clear up. Just be like, hey, remember months ago when we were like, flirty. Yeah, it wasn't very ha on my side. It was very much just flirty. Just want to clarify that. Last time someone said, "Can we talk?" It turned out to be an acquaintance apologizing for the time a few years ago before when he was blackout drunk and came on to me in front of his wife. Whoa! Damn! Wow, yeah. That is a "can we talk" moment. The small flirt jokes was my... In front of his wife? Bruh. The small flirt jokes was my medicine to cope with how much I bottled up my feelings. Now he's going to be hesitant to do it. And he thinks his jokes are the reason I like him. No! Oh, man. I mean... At least he knows you like him, you know? I don't... Even if you can't clear up that matter, at least he knows that. Yo! Juan, how's it going, dude? How close are you to VIP, man? You come to earn more points?
You don't remember, Runo?
Holy... Bleh. Sorry, BRB, guys. I gotta go puke.
You told her she could rip up the representation papers if she didn't want you to be her lawyer.
Really? Did I say that?
Yes, you did, dude.
Yes, you did. The deadline for submitting the paperwork is fast approaching.
In that case, we had better hurry back to the prison and talk to Gina again.
Shouldn't we examine the bookcase, though? Isn't that what they wanted us to do?
Yes, this is where all the items that have been forfeited by the original owners are of for sale. That's right, they have little price labels on them, but there's so many. I wonder if the small box this ticket was for is still on the shelf somewhere. Even if it were, finding it promises to be very troublesome indeed.
There doesn't seem to be too many things here, guys.
There are so many boxes, it could be any one of them. Mr. Shelm said that the pawnbrokers was the safest place to store anything, more secure than a bank's vault. So perhaps this small box of Mr. McGilda's contains something of great value.
Oh, thanks, Drippy. Drippy, you just made the follow counter go down. How dare. Just came in to tell you that no one refunded my old points, so I'm even more behind. What? I have to fix that right now. Jeannie, welcome back. Did your student enjoy listening to us? You made sure they were listening to our ColeHillChills channel, right? Right? Thump drippers. Trippers.
So then, we need to find every box with a lock and break them all open. Yeah!
Oh.
That sort of misconduct would get yourself arrested. I won't let that happen. Ah, this takes me back. It's been some time since you saw the sun last through me.
Yeah, no. Learning is enough torture, Cole. I know, but I'm just trying to make the torture better, you know? I'm trying to make it better. Torture's torture, but I can make it better. ColeHillChills torture is slightly above normal torture. Or slightly below? One of them. It's cold in Montana. Oh, I miss the cold. I ever so greatly miss. I feel like it's this box right here. It's the only one that looks suspicious. Let's get a move on. Oh, the wind chill sucks. The negative 23 is amazing, but the wind chill not so much. Freedom units. Who did it? Who did what? Oh, did someone redeem Juan's points? Thank you very much, guys. Read the rules. No voice impressions during. Yeah, Juan. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, Juan. No voice impressions during an Ace Attorney stream. Obviously, Juan. I love how Clem pauses work just to do that. You're not new, Juan. You're not new. You can't give those back? Yeah, you can. We made those ones. There, Clem just did. Good try, though, man. Good try.
Ah, Gina. Good, you're back. Ah.
No, sadly, that one can't be given back, unfortunately.
The police must have finished questioning her then. Oh, how was it, Jeannie? Was it awful?
You know what, though? Give me 1 second. There. You only take. Well, I mean, the only people who use it are people like, hey, look at me. Hey, you didn't read my message. Hey. You know, it's like we don't need those. We don't need those people. And Juan, who just wants to lose all his points. So we don't need that redemption. I just witnessed that get Thanos snapped. Yeah! Oh my god, Geekster, you finally noticed! Yeah! I was so excited. I was like, oh, I know exactly what the emote needs to be. Who knew a year later, Geeky, it would come full circle again? Juan, you're not losing your point. Stop. Tricky beans. Let's go. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got today, folks. Let's see what we got. We got red, cherry or chili. Cherry or chili, folks. Cherry. Do you think they were gonna be the channel badge? I was drunk. It was a stretch for sure. I debated it though. I really did Geekster. I was like, should I? Nah, maybe not. I think it's 5 beans per stream. I think. One, you can't redeem things here, buddy. Sorry, man. I write the rules, and you gotta be VIP first. We can't. We're here. I'm like a personal banker, you know. I'm managing your account. You're not allowed to spend anything. Oh my! Wow, Jippy really said, "Hey, have all the beans. Feast." Okay. Oh no, it's cherry or chili again. Cherry. I'm scared for the chili one. No more bean redeems. This one. Oh my god, is it again? Cherry or this really said, hey, you need to get chili today. Wait, no. Ew, that's onion. Ew. Oh, I hate the onion one. Oh, that's my least favorite one. That's so gross. I don't want an onion as a jelly bean. Oh my god. Blah. Can I play? I will do 5 beans. That was 3, right? I got 2 more. Okay, this is blackberry or onion. Blackberry. That's a good one. That's a good one. Last one. Oh, again, blackberry or onion. I hate the onion one, guys. I hate the onion one. Like, I like onion in real life, but this onion is awful. Awful tasting. Awful. Just awful. Oh, I hate it. Oh, it gets stuck to your tongue. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Disgusting. No, Jimmy wanted to redeem 5, and Genie wanted to redeem 1. So, like, for them, I will do an extra one. Not for you, not for you. Doesn't look like she approves. Like, Ryan, we're in the middle of a meeting right now. Can you eat your tricky beans later? Is currently very interested in a person getting their whale outside. What? Getting their whale? Looking because I'm in a D&D session. Oh, have fun, Coco! I think you might pass the point where I was, so avoiding spoilers. Oh, yes, absolutely. Glad I came back to suffering cold face. I'm glad to. I'm so thrilled, Coco. I can still taste it. It's in my teeth. I hate it. Oh, they're male. Okay. I didn't know if that was like a new slang for like, you know, they were getting their funky on, you know? They were having their moment. I just like they're a whale. Gotta be like Artemis and not eat anything before stream and only eat beans until hours later. Why would anyone do that? That sounds awful. So Cole just hates me. No. I'm just your personal savings investor, Juan. I'm saving your Cole points. you know they'll accumulate one day to when you can finally retire and get VIP status. Do any of you all know anyone that sells honeydew syrup? that you put in drinks. That sounds lovely. Honeydew syrup. I've never heard of that before. She's an upside down UK, so it's always super early. Upside down UK. No, but I'm sure one day I'll be able to find out one. I don't know how. To add a new feature. Now you can see how many channel points people have. I don't know. I'll find out. I'll find out one. I'll get someone to be a spy and like ask you, and then they'll report back to me. Maybe I'll get Nat to be like, "Hey Nat, can you ask Juan how many channel points he has for my channel?" Just out of curiosity.
Hey, oh, didn't bother me. Thank you for the papers you signed before. It meant we were able to investigate at Winnie Banks.
Yo, Frisk, how's it going? Never redeem it. As far as you know, I have at least 6,000. That is true. That is true. You could. Or you could have very close to VIP. We will never know. Not test Nat's loyalty. Earn your loyalty, Juan, by making you a VIP.
Oh, right. Don't you want to know how we got on? We've been ever so busy.
What's the point in asking? Won't change what everyone's saying. That I did it. I have onion-flavored beans in my throat. God, snack that smiles back. That just keeps on giving back.
That's not... Gina, we came to ask for your final decision.
Hey, what decision?
About tomorrow's trial. Will you let me defend you or not?
One could argue that because I've been here a while that I could possibly have 3 times that amount. Yeah, you have been here a very long time, but you also did lose all of your points in that prediction thing when we were testing it out. So I don't know how many points you have at this point, man. It could be literally anything. Yeah, it was all your points. And the sucky thing is, no one else gained them either. It was just you losing them.
I must submit the paperwork now if you'd like Mr. Naruto to represent you.
Right, I see.
She really lost her fight all of a sudden. But I know what that feels like. The worry is just so hard to bear.
Bear? Finn? Okay, there's no need to just we can see everyone's in a very tense mood.
Oh, all right then, blimey, give it a rest with them eyes, Iris. So come on then, fill us in. Who done it? Unfortunately, we don't know that yet.
You don't say.
We don't know yet, Gina. Mr. Naruto and all of us know that you are innocent of the crime.
You have bare hands? I do, in fact, have bare hands. I do. I left my gloves back home because I figured I won't need gloves in Argentina.
And while we haven't yet managed to work out who the real culprit is, there are a number of interesting facts that we have managed to establish.
Oh yeah? Like what?
Well, for example, the reason for you being there in the first place. I think I know now why you broke into Winnie Banks that night.
We already know why. She went in there to find Iris's manuscripts. That's not new. We know that. We've been new. Sorry, I was changing it so my laptop doesn't keep dimming on me. You don't care for Minecraft too much, right? Not particularly. I appreciate it. I just never have fun playing it. Unless I'm playing with friends. Like that one time we streamed it, I was like, that was a blast. That was a great time. But like to continuously play it, I can't do it. It's one of those games that just I can't convince myself to keep playing.
It looks like I'm gonna have to take some evidence that clearly reveals the reason and thrust it in Gina's face. Or I could present it to her calmly, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe that option. Then I'll hold the rest of my questions. Why? What were your questions?
We already have the representation papers and other documents we need. All we have to do is hand them to the court clerk. That is, if you allow me to represent you in court tomorrow.
Nah, don't bother.
Ginny,
Whip 'em up and chuck 'em, would ya? Them representation papers, or whatever they're called. The cell ain't fancy enough to have a bin.
so what will you do in court tomorrow?
I'll be fine on my own. No, you won't.
I don't think you will be.
You won't believe me if I told you? But now you need to tell me. You can't build that suspense and then not tell me. Look, it don't matter. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. They were questions about Minecraft. Wow, really? Oh my, I would have never guessed.
This is one stubborn pickpocket.
Wait, that's it? Well, what do I gotta show her? There's nothing else I can show her. My lawyer arm. Have this. There's blood on it.
You see this pawnbroker ticket, Gina? It's the one you took at Windy Banks, isn't it? The one for the black overcoat that you're wearing now.
Hey, what's that? I don't know. They all look the same to me, those tickets.
Surely not. Well, this one has a very obvious mark on it. That would appear to be blood.
Hey,
Does that ring any bells?
I don't know. It all looks the same to me, blood.
And they all sound the same to me, these answers. Suspicious. Someone's a little sussy. We found this in Mrs. Windy Bank's storeroom. The manuscript of Iris's latest story.
Why? She was suspicious. I just filled in the blanks, obviously. I said what we were all thinking. Ah! Oh, right. Well, that's good then.
Curiously, the storeroom Windy Bank showed up no sign of being ransacked for items of value or the like. With one exception. The box file that housed this manuscript. It was you, wasn't it, Gina, who broke open the box containing the manuscript last night?
Hey,
You were determined to find out whether or not the Hound of the Baskervilles was really there.
you have some news? I am on my seat. Let's hear it, Teresa.
That's the real reason you broke into the storeroom last night, isn't it?
Ah! Oh, now she is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Why don't you tell us what happened? Please.
Alright, yeah. This Baskerville story. This is the latest Sholmes adventure, right? But it ain't been printed yet. So I figured, it's gotta be worth a few pieces of silver, right? That is not why you did it. Oh yes, at least 5,000 pounds. What?
So, you intended to sell Iris's manuscript, did you?
No. Jenny, how could you? What? Wait, no, hang on.
Of course I weren't gonna sell it. All I wanted to do was find out if the manuscript, or whatever you call it, really was there or not. That's the only reason I was in the first place.
My old Switch screwed up, so all my game save data's gone? No! I need some hugs. Oh, Teresa, no! That sucks. Do you not have an SD card? Also, isn't it possible don't have cloud functions? They don't. I was gonna ask if like some save files you have can we transfer to the other one, because I'm pretty sure most have that. Oh, I'm sorry, Teresa. That super sucks. Well, I would hate that. Maybe try looking up if there is a way, just in case, to download them. Because I know yesterday I added my sister's account to my Switch so that we could play her games. And it asked me if I wanted to like sync save files so that regardless of which Switch the account plays on, the latest save would be there. So maybe it did save stuff on the cloud? What games have cloud saves? Yeah, I don't know how they would fix it either, but that sucks. I'm sorry I wasn't able to recover any data. No! What happened to your Switch? How did it die? Did you pour orange juice on it? I've heard that's a mistake Nintendo tries to warn you not to make.
For Iris's sake. Isn't that right? We knew why you'd done it from the start, Gina. Of course we did. But I knew you wouldn't do anything mean like that, Ginny. I just knew it.
That's for the Wii. Yeah. You know the one I'm talking about, Queen.
Well, when I saw the manuscript in the storeroom, it reminded me of what you said the night before.
Oh my god, flashbacks. Oh, wow, we were there last night. I don't remember any of this. No orange juice, but grape soda is just fine. No pulp. Pulp messes with the circuits. Did you put inside of a toaster instead of the dog?
Oh, Ginny, that was so sweet of you. All right. I'll tell you why I did it. Stop looking at me like that, Iris.
Reason for breaking in. We know why.
It wasn't because of Iris. That's not why I did it. I just wanted to know the truth, that's all. You want to know if Miss Sean's being honest. If he really deposited the manuscript at Winnie Banks. Just like I told you the night before. I never had a father. But Iris's lot ain't like mine. She's got her dad. Oh, only she can't see him. Oh, yeah, she totally has a dad. And I reckon that's gotta be odder. That's why she writes her stories. They're about her dad, really. That's what it sounded like to me anyway, last night when I was listening to what you were saying. Stories about Daddy? You mean they're not adventures of a great detective? So much as the adventures of a great detective and his trusty partner? Well, if that's how I see it, yeah. You're so thoughtful and so kind, Ginny.
I read Kinky. I was like, huh?
Yes, and we never thought any different, did we? Look, give it a rest, will ya?
I know, that's why I was like, huh? I read Kinky instead of kind.
I ate
All this chummy nonsense. Do you hear? I ate it. I don't trust no one, right? That's how I work. Because if you don't trust no one, then no one can let you down. So leave me alone. Go on, scrapper. No.
I hadn't noticed until now, but it's unmistakable. Right there on both sleeves of the overcoat.
Oh, yeah, there's blood.
Are some very sussy red stains.
What? Why are you looking at me like that?
I think it might be worth presenting some of our other findings in that area to Gina now.
All right. Hey, Gina. Blood.
Those stains on the sleeve of your new coat, Gina. They're blood, aren't they? Not that I know whose blood yet.
Most part I have no issues. My main games were backed up. My Animal Crossing Island Bells Villager. Oh, wait. Isn't your Animal Crossing save though? I'm pretty sure that one's backed up at least. I swear Animal Crossing is. Pokemon Shield save is gone, but I left my shinies in Pokemon Home. Oh, good. At least you have your precious shinies. That would really suck. The title Prom Queen. I was so hunched over, like I never expected that. Like, huh?
What? But blood, Miss Naruto. You don't appear to have any obvious wounds yourself, though. So it could be blood that splattered from Mr. Winniebanks when he was shot last night. Let's not beat around the bush here. That trusty friend of mine will get results much faster than anyone else. Hey, to take it easy, Iris. Don't move, Ginny. I'm going to shoot. It'll all be over very quickly. Don't worry, you won't feel a thing.
And she was never seen again. Purple?
Oh. Oh my! What the? Forget the sleeves. The whole coat is covered in blood. Of course! The black color of the fabric was making the stains. Was masking the stains. And that's why we haven't seen them until now.
Wouldn't you still see it? Wouldn't it be like crusty?
And the blood has reacted with the chemicals to turn a purple color. Which matches one of the samples we've already collected perfectly. Yes, let's see. Who had the purple blood? Aha, yes. It was the brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The victim of the murder case 2 months ago.
I thought it had a bullet in it or something. She was actually gonna shoot her. Let's see, we have to make you bleed to see what color of blood yours is. What? What are you all about? The victim? What do you mean? Pew pew.
It's a rather uncomfortable situation, Mr. Naruto, but I think this makes things quite clear. It means the omnibus case is finally solved. The truth about who really murdered the bricks maker, Mr. Mason, is revealed. Oi! Will someone explain what's going on? Stop telling Alpha story.
Please and thank you. Oh, okay. What? Why?
We can see now that the victim's blood is all over Mr. McGilder's overcoat. But in the trial 2 months ago, the defendant said this in his testimony. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I was about to start worrying about my gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand.
She doesn't have enough screen time, that's why.
But if you look at this overcoat now, it's clear. These stains couldn't have arisen from Miss McGilder trying to pull the victim back to his feet.
Yeah, her contract. My contract says I need to be in at least 85% of this game, and so far I've only been 73, so I need you to, like, put me in more points of the games. I miss Maya. I miss Maya, too. Don't worry, Drippy. After this game, we will be going back to beat the 3rd Ace Attorney game. Don't worry, man. We'll get to see Maya soon.
No! If that was what had really happened, the blood wouldn't have splashed all over the front of the coat. The only explanation for this pattern of blood is that it splattered over Mr. McGilda's coat when he stabbed the victim in the stomach. In the tum-tum.
I don't know why I found that so funny.
Oh no, he got blood all over his tum-tum. I've tried to run from the truth for long enough. Ew. But there's no escaping it now. The rum-rum tum-tum. Oh no, you got blood all over your rum-rum tum-tum? Oh no.
Oh my god. Okay, this game sucks.
But there's no escaping it now. The true culprit in the case, Mr. Mason's killer, Magnus McGilded.
Yeah, we know. But he's dead now, so it's okay.
Mr. Naruto, that horrible case is solved at last. And I helped the man walk free from that trial.
I mean, he's not really free now, is he?
And I used all that twisted testimony and all that sham evidence, wow, to prove his innocence. How could I have let that happen?
Cool, when's the next episode of Monkey Ball coming out? I haven't commented in ages. I gave up, Drippy. It was so much work because my webcam was really, really bad back then. I gave up. It took more time lining up the dialogue in the video than it did actually editing the video. It was pain. It was so much pain. I'm sorry, man. Drippy 5. Skip the, wait, what? Drippy 5? Oh, because there was a space. I was like, wait, why is that the same one? Why is my nose so red? I think that just might be the color from the screen. I swear it's not red in real life. I look fine from my view. No, Drippy 5, no monkey. If you want though, Drippy, we can start streaming Monkey Ball again. I would love to keep playing it. So he's probably burnt. Oh, shush. We went out really quickly the other day, and the top of my forehead got burnt pretty bad. Not horrible, but like it was red. Better than this. Okay, now. Really, Drippy? You would prefer me going, yeah, monkey, and then raging at falling constantly? You'd rather that over this? I feel like this is more chill. You'd rather see the same level like 20 times? I will do it. Monkey go burr. Alright, I guess we're having another Monkey Ball stream now.
Bruno, did you believe him, though? Did you believe Mr. McGilda was innocent?
Yakuza man go burst star jumps.
I believed. Or rather, I think I was trying to believe. I wanted to. Because believing in those you represent in court is a defense lawyer's greatest weapon.
I did look into it, Teresa. It's not my game, though. It looks fun. But it looks like it's too complicated. Too much of my time I would spend just researching everything.
Because believing in those you represent in court is a defense lawyer's greatest weapon. A weapon?
A lawyer's weapon.
Before I came to Great Britain, a great friend of mine taught me a valuable lesson. Don't die.
You mean Kazuma-sama? Is it too soon? Listen. Oh, I haven't said his voice in so long. Listen, Ryan. We lawyers are only human. We can't know for sure what is the truth and what is a lie. Which is why we must resort to our primary weapon. Our sword. Also, an unwavering belief in our clients. That's all we really have.
Unwavering belief?
Only when we truly believe what our clients tell us can we fight with everything we have for their cause. In any battle, there can be no victory without faith. So I believe you, unwaveringly. Remember when they killed the best character? Yeah, seriously, they really did. I was so excited for his character development, but no. No, he died in the second chapter. Did you look into a Hat in Time? Or I looked into Hat in Time, the co-op thing. It looks fun. I'm considering it. If we could, you know, if we can play. When. I looked into it. We can play Glem. Oh, yes, my favorite game. I was gonna say, I looked into it because I could play co-op of Glem. we could stream that one, and we could both play at some point. But my words got all scrabbled up. Anyways.
What's funny, Gina?
Core. Sounds like in this empire of Japan you come from, everyone must be soft. Well, come on. Look at the mess it's gotten you into. Believing in that bog trotter.
Yes, I inadvertently helped a murderer walk free.
Free falling. Well, at least you've learned your lesson now, eh? Believing in people's never worth it. Someone always stabs you in the back end. As soon as you let your guard down, you'd had it. Take a leaf out of my book. A leaf out of your book? Believe in no one. Get hurt by no one. I don't like that. Gina, may I ask you something? What? I'd just like to make absolutely sure. What would you like us to do with these representation papers for tomorrow's trial? Teresa, as if. I am the lightest sleeper in the world. If a leaf falls outside, I will wake up. Reverse of that. Glem falls asleep in 2 seconds. I could draw a moose on Glem's head, but it couldn't be the reverse. Oh, how many times do I have to say it? Mip him and chuck him away.
Are you really sure that's what you want?
I bet that's what he wants and all now. Mr. I'm a believer. And then I saw her face. I'm a believer. I believe. I believe. All together now. I believe. Let's hear from the chat. I believe. Hear it just from Drippy. I believe. Everyone. I believe. I believe. I believe. Wow, nice guys, nice moment we had there. That was a great bonding moment. Anyways, don't forget it was me in that trial 2 months ago. I want a refund for what? For what? What am I refunding you for, Genie? And then everyone up the garden path, didn't I? If I pick up Wooly, he will scream along. Yeah, Wooly Bear! Check Discord for the final time, I promise. God damn it, Chippy. Would never recommend concert. These 2 songs have the same beats per minute. Oh? Teen Titans? Why was that so good? Okay, that was worth it. That was worth looking at Chippy. Then I saw her face. I'm a believer. Oh, where were we? What were we doing?
And you're telling me you can believe in me after that? Not likely. Well, Mr. Naruto, a lawyer's primary weapon is an unwavering belief in his clients. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not I feel I can trust Gina after everything that's happened.
I can't trust her. What do you guys think? Can we trust her? I want to know what happens if I say I can't trust her. No, she's British. I can't trust her.
But what choice do I really have here? I have to believe it.
I said I don't trust her.
Although I can hardly believe myself that I'm making this choice in spite of everything. Let's just put it down to one of life's little curiosities. Gina, let me say it again. Please allow me to represent you in tomorrow's trial.
Great, so it didn't matter. The illusion of choice, ladies and gentlemen. The illusion of choice.
Hey, are you half-baked?
Yes.
Not at all. You've not once admitted to committing to the crime, have you? What's more, I believe altogether that you're telling me the truth.
Encore? Did we hear an encore from the audience?
Seriously.
Mr. Naruto. Is this the first time you've said my name?
Didn't you hear all of what I said before? I'm a born liar. Fibs just trip off me tongue, and I'm a diver. Don't forget, I'm a born liar. Fibs just trip off my tongue. I'm a diver.
Thank you very much. She's the opening act for our show, guys. Karaoke stream, that'd be fun. Although the delay, the sync issues I'd have would be not fun. Teresa, I'll have you know I have a theater's degree in singing. I don't suck at singing, okay? I just choose to be bad on stream. He said, thank you, Drippy. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that, man. I believe. Would you ever trust me now? I just don't get it.
Gina, I do understand why you chose not to put your trust in others. But I assure you, there is more to this life than you yet realize.
What do you mean? Okay, but I have in fact heard Cole sing. Oh yeah, I showed Glenn my old theater videos. Like, actually sing, bruh. Cole I can sign? I can sign? I can sign! Guys, I can sign! I went to school for sign. You know the people who go outside and twirl those signs around? I'm a sign! I'm a sign! I'm a sign twirler. I can attack and I can sign. With the sign, I can attack. I spin it so quickly, I can just like slice a guy's head off. I'm going to the zombie apocalypse with a sign, guys. So I know, thank you, Jeannie. It is a skill. It was a very odd. It was a very odd minor I chose. You know, sign twirling. No one really understood why I did it, but it paid off. Believe me. The time I spent in it, it paid off.
It's full of people you would do very well to trust. People who won't ever let you down. It's true that I'm just a student of law, and I'm certainly lacking in courtroom experience. But I can promise you this. Whatever happens, and until my very last breath, I'll be watching you. I'm completely on your side.
Thank you for backing me up, though, Clem. I appreciate it. What? What do you expect me to say to that? I miss her, Drippy. I miss Pepper. I've had so many dreams about my dogs recently. I miss them. They're loving the snow. I've seen videos of them outside. Also, my parents won't give them haircuts, so they're really scraggly. Not even my dog. I miss her so much. Oh, I miss my little monkey. I'm gonna steal her. Our plan is next year to go back to Canada for Christmas, and I'm taking Pepper with me wherever I go after that. How's Rue? I don't know. I don't even hear about my dogs very often. I don't hear anything about Rue. I'm sorry, Coffee Cups. Just that one picture my sister sent of her in the tree. That was it. Oh no, I love Bella as well, but I definitely can't take Bella with me. She's a little too big, and she gets way too motion sickness, so she unfortunately has to stay. I will be stealing Pepper though. She's coming with me.
Then it's decided. I will take these papers now and carry out the necessary preparations for tomorrow's work.
Wait, does she agree? I missed that. She never said yes. We're just like, great, so we'll do it.
It would be a shame to throw them away now after it's been penned with your name so beautifully. Do what you like. You Eastern lot are, I don't know what you are. I don't get ya.
When will there be the day when we... Wait. When will be the day we can get Glem and Pepper in the same frame? Next year in December, hopefully. That would be... that would be the best stream ever. You could redeem Glem and Pepper for the price of one. I actually don't know if Willy Bear has ever seen a Christmas tree. Aww. I feel like, would Willy be afraid of it? 2-for-1 deal. Yeah, right, Genie? 2-for-1. I miss Pepper so much.
Gina is taking herself off to the back of her cell. She never admitted it, but I hope she's feeling relieved. That turned out all right in the end, I think.
Imagine if we made Gordy and Metopia Pepper. Like the horse? Wait, if you mean if we made the horse Pepper? The horse? That'd be hilarious. It would be so... It wouldn't look like a dog at all. We would just name it Pepper. I would have maxed out my friendship if that was the case.
Who's ever hiding there? Show yourself at once. Eavesdropping is the height of a cowardice. Mrs. Sato. Somebody's here in the shadows. I can sense it. Somebody who wasn't there before. What?
Blimey, you're sharp, eh? Oh, hi there. They don't move. I don't know. But like, my Bella is afraid of anything that she hasn't seen before. If she saw the Christmas tree for the first time, she'd be horrified of it.
I suppose you were using one of those mystic Japanese arts, like the art of stealth I've heard so much about.
If anyone was being stealthy, it was you, Inspector. Gregsy.
Oh dear me, I'm terribly sorry, Your Ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you.
How long have you been listening to our conversation?
Good grief! Listening in? No. I just got word that there were some visitors who were refusing to leave even though it was after hours. I assure you, Your Ladyship, I only just arrived this very minute, not a moment earlier. That is all. Nothing untoward. Nothing at all.
After hours? Is it already that late?
So then, I'll humbly excuse myself now, Your Ladyship. Toodle, cheerio, all the best. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye and bye.
That's a lot of farewells. Not one of them appropriate for her ladyship. Oh, but I wanted to have a chat.
I'm terribly sorry, but time is pressing at the minute.
Oh, I see. That's a shame.
If I don't get this emergency the Supreme Court dealt with sharpish, Lord Strongheart will, well.
Emergency? Lord Strongheart?
I forget I said anything. Anyhow, I'm off.
All right, Gregsy. Oops. All right, Gregsy. If you have to, but let's chat soon.
Delighted, charmed. Can't wait, if you please. My pleasure.
That's a lot of pleasantries, and not one of them sounded sincere.
These characters are bad. I mean, I miss Gumshoe a lot too. What's up, pal? Those are such good characters, man. You probably ignore it. Willie, I can't take to work at Renaissance Fair. There's a lot of weird stuff going on at those, and he doesn't give a flip. Aww. Oh, you can take to work Renaissance Fair. Oh, yeah. Willie would be fine then.
Gregsy's so funny. He says such silly things.
It's certainly entertaining to see an inspector of the police fawning to a 10-year-old girl. But anyway, I wonder what this emergency is at the Supreme Court.
I must attend the court clerk's office now before it closes.
Yes, of course. Oh, yeah, isn't she leaving tomorrow?
Kindly escort Iris home now, Miss Naruto. I shall meet you there later.
I need to get out of the house. What is this music? And so, our investigation came to an end. Jesus. She sought to sign what to file the necessary papers for my defense of Gina the following day. And then it hit me. I could no longer suppress the wretched feeling that had been gnawing away at my insides. Tomorrow, Susato-san would be leaving Britain, and making her way back to Japan. Oh no. Looks like I'll have to confess my feelings.
Naruto-san, it's been a very trying day, hasn't it? I do hope you're not too exhausted.
What about you, Susato-san? Today has been even more tiring for you, I'm sure. Mrs. Shelms was shot before her eyes. I thought I said shot in the eyes. I was like, oh. Gina was arrested. All in the back of the news that her father was fallen ill and she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon.
Thank you for your kind words. I wonder why it is. There's so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm. And yet, I seem unable to find the words to express any of them.
I know exactly what you mean.
Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow.
And one final task. Oh, Jesus. What's the one final task, girl? You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What did you mean?
Oh my, I nearly forgot. Please, I want you to have this.
Is it her encyclopedia? What is that? Some huge bundle of documents?
It's my notes from the cases 2 months ago. The murder that was committed on the omnibus.
The McGilded case.
It seems to me that this case of Mr. Winniebank's murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with that omnibus case in ways that are not yet completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you.
With everything else she's had to think about, Susato doesn't still manage to do this, and all neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting.
It was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina.
She gave us the Ace Attorney wiki. We now win every trial. Finally! Finally! I don't have to look up the answers. We just have it.
Thank you so much, Usato-san. I'll do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world. Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure. Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there. Oh, ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself.
That didn't sound like mumbling to me. Right, Genie? All Maya does is get in trouble. That's all she does. Occasionally she yells in courtroom, which gives us more time, but that's it. I still miss her.
It's just 2 months since we arrived in London. But we managed to establish his office. It was finally feeling as though we were settling in optimal. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret. I'm so sorry, Sato-san. It's just so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts.
She also summons her big-eyed sister. Oh, yeah, which totally isn't awkward at all anytime it happens. As long as it's not Pearls that it's happening to.
I know we've only been here a short time, but my limited experience at the courtroom, I feel I've learned something. And what would that be? It seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities. Facets. And like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives.
Is this the same protagonist who's talking? Since when is Ryan this deep and you know, poetic?
But we see only a small number of the total facets. And what is illuminated is only a part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there are some parts we'll never lay eyes on for as long as we live. That's so true.
She's like, okay, moving on. This is getting awkward.
Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much. But I keep hoping that one day it will all become clear. That all the facets will be illuminated.
What the hell is happening?
And I'm finally understand how everything fits together. Naruto-san, you're kind of freaking me out. I suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the way sometimes seems dark. It's amazing to think that it's been 2 months. You've grown so much. Sorry, I've what? Oh no, it was nothing. Unimportant.
Okay. That was the weirdest conversation we've had so far.
Do you know what time you will leave London in the morning? Yes, I picked up my ticket earlier. I should be leaving here at 4 a.m.
4 a.m.? Girl, you gotta get to sleep. I hate this game.
I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station. Absolutely not. Sorry? I'm sure you realize why I couldn't possibly let you do that. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow. Gina's trial.
Oh, it was nothing. Definitely not a plot point. You heard something? I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything either. I have really bad ears. Yes, I know, but every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate. You must get as much rest as possible. Even though, like me, I'm sure you will find it hard to sleep.
They are going to make more lawyers that lead to Phoenix? They're gonna breed? Is that what you're trying to say? I feel like no one else would with Ryan, so I think Susato's the last hope.
But please, for me, do try. Well, it's getting rather late. And I think you should go to bed now, Naruto-san. I must finish packing up my things in my room. Susato-san, I wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. May we never see each other again. Good night.
Oh! Oh, Jesus.
What was that?
She heard a little, oh, I'm too heartbroken to speak to you. You're now dead.
A secret technique of mine. The Susato shutdown. Shutdown? Please, I implore you. If we have to voice our goodbyes, I won't be able to hold back my tears.
Good night, Ryan. Game over screen. Well, guys, it was a good run, but we lost again to Susato. She's a hard obstacle to get around. You just say see you later then. You don't have to say goodbye.
Susato-san.
Yeah, no worries, Chippy. Or bye. Oh, okay. One of the two. All right, well then, BRB, no worries, Chippy, or bye, Chippy. I hope you have a great night. Either one, man, either one.
It truly had been a trying day. On our feet for hours, getting Gina to open up to us, and learning the truth about the nemesis of a case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted, and yet the idea of sleep seemed impossible. But I forced myself to close my eyes, and as a cacophony of scenes of our lives here in London played through my mind. Eventually, my fatigue triumphed, and I fell into a deep sleep. I woke up 20,000 years later in a strange body known as a Phoenix Wright.
The small hours. Oh, in the hospital? Yes, I quite understand. That is a great weight off my mind. Ha! Mr. Shard, I should put everything in place, exactly as we discussed. Thank you so much. It has been an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Sholmes. On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. I bid you farewell, and Godspeed. Oh, Maya. My dear madame. So they can say goodbye, but I can't say goodbye? Rude. Rude. Get a plant named the cat yet? No, not yet. Not yet, Coffee Cups. We do not have a plant yet. Ugh. Ugh. I'm angry. I'm angry.
When I awoke the following morning, Susato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an evening longer day than the last, one that I would remember for the rest of my days.
Does he only have a few days left to live?
Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. So where's your friend then? Sorry? You know, oh, in the fancy dress.
Susato. Oh, however you say it. I don't know. Susato.
Miss Susato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up.
You're all right with that, are you? Forget about me if you like. Go off and see her.
It's fine. It's not as though Mr. Sato and I won't meet again one day.
Even so.
But you know, Gina, you only get one chance. The trial today is all we have.
Good morning, you two. Aww.
How are you feeling, Ginny? Did you manage to sleep?
Meow. Wagahai, what are you doing in the courtroom, you silly goose? Iris, what are you doing there?
What do you mean? When a fan is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy?
Aww. Oh.
Ah, Waggy! Great way to show your support, kitty.
Let him have a nose around. What I'm gonna do? Probably a lot.
Oh, that reminds me, I bought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Bruno, Ginny?
Oh, well, I think I'd rather get bad news out of the way first. Nah, always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. That's a fair point.
Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities.
Let's not go there.
Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first.
I hope the kitty sits on the judge's desk and trial. Oh my god, that would be so unnecessary, but so cute. I want that to happen now.
A record amount of rain has fallen this morning, and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move.
Huh? The bad news was a weather report?
So I hope that Susie made her train to Dover and that the train isn't delayed on its way to the port.
Gosh! Yes! Alright then, so what's the good news?
Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon. So if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it?
I couldn't give a monkeys, really. Monkey?
If only all good news canceled out the bad. Ah, look! This trial has made the headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in pickpurse plunder. See?
Tisk, how'd you like that? We'll let them say what they want. See if I care.
I can't believe. I can't because you're covering your face. Don't worry, Bruno. Don't worry, Bruno will soon show everyone that this headline is nonsense.
I will.
And then, in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be Discharged diver is dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Bruno?
Oh, yes. Let's hope so.
Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work, did it?
It's like she was still here. Amazing.
Good luck there, Bruno. I'll do what I can. Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still.
Oh, that's a bazooka.
I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you moral support and encouragement.
I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you. It's actually a tuba. Wah, 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 wah. Oh yeah, Iris.
Yes, Ginny.
Well, I was wondering is all about Sholmes. Did they fix him up all right?
Yes, the operation was a great success, but well, it still hasn't come around yet.
Eh? The other lawyer can't make any point if you play the tuba loud enough. And so, Your Honor, the client is not guilty. Objection! Wah, 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 wah. I'm trying to. Wah, 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 wah. Well, it looks like if the lawyer has nothing else to say, the criminal's case closed. That's true. That's a good point, Jeannie.
I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard. Send a telegram as soon as he wakes up. I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news.
You could win any argument with that. Everyone should just carry around a tuba just for the sake of getting into an argument. So you could always just play over the other person so they can't say anything. Oh, right.
No Susato-san and no Shomes. It's all down to me today to prove that Gina is innocent of the crime.
Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense. Trial's about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom.
It's time then. Yes, let's go, Gina. Iris. Lead the way, Runo. Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. And proof.
Oh.
If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that.
Oh, it's that. Sorry, I thought there was more to the sentence. The old man is back! In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt of or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsel for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready.
The defense is ready.
Lord Van Zeeks, my lord, remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service? It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? I ran out of money. And what one might describe as your former life 5 years past. You dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government.
Really?
Yet today you chose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. Murder? I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel. There are 2 types of persons I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. Oh my god, she's so tiny.
He means Mrs. McGilded, who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago. Yes, I just about managed to work that out, thank you. Manny's McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him.
It's how to grow magic windless ribbons from your head. Yes. And secondly, even more loathsome, those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confident trickster from those tiny islands in the Far East, the Nipponese. Oh, so you really are racist. Cool. Cool.
What? Did he really just say that? He means you now, Runo. I actually managed to work that out too, thank you, Iris. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? That torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zeek's eyes. Was that directed solely at me? Or was he talking about all Japanese people?
An alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Zeeks. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all London's malefactors. Your lordship is too kind. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Okay, how at random can it be if 1, 2, 3, 4 of them have already been here? There's only 2 new people. Are you ready to hear the evidence before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defendant? Also, the old man. Is he a doctor now?
Former lieutenant in the British Army here. Don't you know? Chaps like me were born ready.
Clean cockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship motto is very appropriate here, I think.
Yuck! Yuck! Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely everything, and I'm ready for it.
I don't understand it. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible, but could I have?
Is she doing Morse code instead of a typewriter now? Meep, 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 meep. Woman indispensable in society. Stop. Female-centric future awaits. Stop. Wait a second. Whoa, 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 whoa! Wait a second. That's the dude. That's the dude. You know, on the boat, they were like, oh, this guy's at large. He ran away. This is what he looks like. This is the poster. And how the girl who killed Kazuma accidentally looked like him. This is him. I forget what his name was. But this is him. I swear it. This is him. Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Yeah, this is definitely him. A feminist and a Russian killer with a mouse side by side on the jury. Love that range. Live, laugh, love it. Wait, so he's a... Okay, hold the phone. Isn't it a rule where you can only ask citizens to be the jurors? This guy literally said, oh, I'm passing through. I'm not from here. But I'm here to be the juror today.
Is something wrong, Bruno?
Oh, not exactly. It's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact.
Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they?
Funny coincidence.
But it is quite strange. The jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants.
There's no way that he gets chosen twice.
So I've been led to believe, but something tells me I'm being duped.
At the time, it was also illegal for women to serve on the jury, so... Oh, really? Interesting. Very well. Lord Van Zeeks. The court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. Yuck. The victim, Mr. Pop Windybank, a proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. Chime bells. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near instant death. Near, far, wherever you are. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonally trajectory.
And what's that supposed to tell us?
It went upwards. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say.
Oh!
The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Kumbaya. Indeed. The court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please. Noted. Noted. Super noted. I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In the sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. Persons? Wouldn't it be people? The victim, Mr. Windybank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. Well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Isn't that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway? She's one of those filthy drows who live in the slums in the East End. Oh well, it was only a matter of time before she got blood on her hands then. What are the juries waiting for? The girl's guilty as...
We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive.
Oh, the wine again. My learned Nipponese friend, it is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. Right, Genie? Like, bruh, you don't need to be so rude about it. I get it, you all have big hats, but like, come on. Come on, deflate those eagles of yours. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. Good gracious! After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pick purse, or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establish the truth. The court will take the floor plan and firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zeeks. At once, my lord. Okay, we got a lot of new evidence.
This isn't good.
I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Bruno.
I think that's because it has.
Oh, hello. Oh, damn. Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses of the foul murder of Mr. Pop Windybank on 16th April of this year. Okay. I'm sorry. Was that a man or a dog? Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Bruh. What am I looking at? No. Is this supposed to be Waluigi and Wario? Like, why does the little one look like a dog? How am I supposed to voice this guy? Nash Skulkin. Occupation is baddie. Professional baddie. Professional baddie. And yeah, what's with the fruit? I'm a professional baddie. Let the ladies know of the jury know that I am a baddie. A professional baddie. Okay. His eyes look like they're about to pop out of his head.
Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is baddie. Professional baddie.
Name's Bruno Skulkin. Occupation.
Just higher.
Name's Bruno Skulkin. Occupation same as him.
Delbert Gregerson, Scotland Yard Inspector.
That's right. We're what they call the 3 Skulkin brothers. What? No. Are they related to him? Are these his brothers? No.
What you looking at me for that, like that for? Don't let me in with you lot.
Blimey, that's called. Don't you know what you're going through? We're going through.
It's an older bruv. Lost contact with him, we have. So we're scouring every shady corner of the capital.
And then last night, we come across you, the very spit of the bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo?
He is, Nash, he is. Very spit of him.
So we decided there and then what we was gonna do. We was gonna call ya.
Big bruv sulky.
No.
Come on, leave it out with you two.
Sulky skulking? That's before he's run out of chips.
Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson. Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias. What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand.
The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft.
Thieves are they? These three.
Poor Gregson.
No, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't let me in with this lot.
2 nights ago, these two brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle, and in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime.
By Jove! You mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence!
Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder.
He's on a box! Order!
The various trespassers of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future.
With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow.
Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand. Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question, and what exactly you saw. Apply to. 'Cause a skulkin's never skulking.
The look! Get out of it!
I can't. The rise. We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and Gap's door was ajar, you see.
Twas like some kind of sign begging for us to go in, twas.
But once we got inside, Corp Blimey Lummy, we heard a cum shot from the back room.
We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside.
I know, right, Genie? Why is he blushing like that? I don't know. He's timid. He's shy. We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that, nice and quiet. No, that can't be true. You shot the detective. You shot, what's his name? A terrible coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot. The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within, only the victim and the accused were found. I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witness now. Of course, counsel if you please.
council.
Yes.
What's the matter, Runo?
Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by that pair in the stand. I know that it's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I'll just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is.
Wait, why? How come every time we go into a trial, we don't get to talk to the person we're representing? Why don't we get to hear their side of it? Like, I have no idea what Gina saw or heard or witnessed. We don't know. We don't know anything. I would like to know, please.
The front door Winnie Banks was ajar, you say? What time of night was this?
Must have been about 1. Right, Ringo?
Yeah, I'd say so, right, Sulky?
How would I know? The place would have been shut at 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town. Well, it was pitch black inside, it's true. Ain't you right, Ringo?
I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Sulky, me old mucker?
Leave me alone.
Poor detective. It really does, Coffee Kips. Right when I think it gets normal again, no. Is Gordy's ascendant? Yeah!
There definitely was a small lamp burning inside. And that's what alerted us to the situation in the first place.
Yeah, no worries, Queen. Thanks so much for stopping in. I hope you had a great time. Have a terrific night, Frisk.
And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of her gun trained on the unfortunate victim. Objection! That is pure conjecture!
Huh. Perhaps, but it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside.
Right, that's what happened.
Hold it!
What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go in?
Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say, don't they, Ringo?
They do, Nash, they do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon. God's will often presents itself as the whim of thieves, doesn't it?
It weren't no whim, I'm dead sure of that.
It weren't, Nash, it weren't, like we said at the time.
You don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah, there's no two ways about it.
It was a sign that our long-lost brother was inside.
They're not very good liars, are they?
Well, you can't deny it. It led us to a bloke what looks just like our bruv.
I should cut it out.
Those chips aren't getting jumping today. A gunshot, you say? Just the one, are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm just the one, Governor. I can swear to that.
It was. Nash, it was. Ain't that right, bruv?
The firearm used belonged to the victim himself.
Yes, Mr. Winniebank always used to leave his gun lying around on the corner counter.
Right, I remember.
When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds.
That makes sense. Mr. Winniebank always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded.
That's true, I remember him saying that as well.
So we can say with considerable certainty that only one single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon. No, sir, no, it wasn't.
Yes, my lord. Yes, we can.
And I should remind the court, the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused.
Wonderful. You're my wonder wow.
Can we present? Because they kept saying there was only one gunshot, but there was not one gunshot. There were two. There were two. Exactly. Then who shot Sholmes? And how is there a bullet in the calendar? You know? Oh wow, we have a lot of stuff. Hold on. I'm thinking for something. We're okay. Yeah. Blood, lots of blood. Can I present this? I want to present this. I don't think we need anything there. Single bullet from the back. There were no other signs of trauma. Okay. Yep. I'm trying to figure out what to present in order to show it was more than one bullet.
This is Mr. Winnybag's gun. The cylinder is completely empty.
Mr. Winnybag always used to keep this gun to hand in his shop counter.
Yes, but only ever with a single bullet loaded. I understand.
That's right, to keep all the pawned articles that were in this care safe.
But this one bullet was fired at night, and the poor man lost his life.
That doesn't help me. Can we present this? Okay, let's keep pressing maybe. I don't think we have the stuff for it.
Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom?
If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. Yeah, no worries, Jeannie. Have a great night. Thanks so much for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Hope my voices didn't drive you too crazy today, and your students, of course, because clearly they were all listening. Only one other door to that storeroom.
Of course, there was only a little oil lamp burning, not much to see by.
And the door was indeed behind a curtain and all. That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door?
Eh?
Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I think.
Oh, well, your turn to Rabbit Ringo.
Oh, well, Nash, yeah. I suppose you'd have to say we ain't normal, eh?
Broadly speaking, humans respond in one of two ways on hearing a gunshot or scream. The timid flee, gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. These gentlemen are of the latter inclination. My learned Nipponese friend, it would seem, is of the former.
All right, somehow I just proved that I was a coward that night.
Well, thank you, counsels. So, I believe we all understand that the door was locked and could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses. We did nothing, huh? Nice and quiet, huh? You didn't do or take anything. Is that your story?
Well, it was Bedlam soon as, weren't it?
It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dicks out. Me Lucy Lockets.
So, if no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left, nice and quietly, you say.
Yeah, that's right, Governor. Nothing we ate more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers. We are not burglars.
We are, Nash, we are. Never even pulled me dukes out, me Lucy Lockets.
So, you clearly like us to believe.
Hey, come again.
As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else?
Han.
And did you not fire a gun at that person?
The saint's alive! They fired a gun, you say?
What are their faces?
By me, Governor.
You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway.
It was.
Why the bleeding Nora? Didn't you mention that in the first place?
You were armed with a gun, and as you fled the scene, you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Sherlock Holmes.
I didn't hear that, actually. There was a rumor that he'd been rushed to the hospital. The great Sholmes, that's beyond the pale.
On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of discovery of the crime scene. The suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers.
Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle. As you say, counsel. The court will hold this weapon as evidence.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Now, my learned Nipponese friend.
Yes?
Here's you're successfully presenting the evidence.
I thought he was holding the gun for a second. He went, a wine glass? No. No, you're dead.
For yes, there are the telltale signs of spent powder on this gun, and a single bullet missing from the cylinder.
Excuse me.
But the prosecution demands evidence that it is fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial.
Well, I don't need evidence. Because I was there.
Objection.
However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on.
Evidence that these two fired the gun before they left the Windy Banks that night.
The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in pawnbroker's shop that night? Let me save my game.
Bum 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 bum.
Do we have proof? Huh? Oh, we have their gun.
Can we examine it?
So, the ammunition is still loaded in 5 of this revolver's 6 cylinders.
Yes, which tells us that only a single shot had been fired from it.
Exactly.
The bullet that hit Hurley, in fact, isn't it?
Yes, it happened almost as soon as we'd walk in through Windy Bank's door.
I'll make those brothers pay.
But how can I prove?
Can I show the blood?
The evidence is in his portfolio.
What on earth have you there, Counsel? Okay, good.
During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of bloodstains.
Not trusting the police to do the job they've trained to do. How arrogantly Nipponese of you. Well, they didn't do their job.
Well, anyways, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in the portfolio.
And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein.
Yes, my lord.
No more dallying then, Counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. I bet Windy Bank's gun actually shot Sholmes and the weirdo's not Windy. That's what I feel like that's what a twist could be. I thought of it too. The only thing is like Windy Bank's gun was in the room with Windy Banks. So I don't know. Maybe? Also, the old man is dressed up as a doctor. I bet you any money he's the one that operated on Mr. Sholmes. And he was saying like, oh, where is it? I bet he's looking for a... Oh, no, I guess he wouldn't be looking for a bullet. Never mind. Then what do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded the firearm at the scene? Beep, bop, a doo doo. What is that? Explain.
It's a photographic print taken at Windy Bank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident.
From the scene of the crime, is it? They aimed it out the flap that we looked in? Oh! No, but it said that the bullet went upwards through him? So it couldn't really have happened? Unless he was already lying down, maybe. Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there.
Yes, as your lordship noticed. The bullet pierced Mr. Windybank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death.
The incident occurred 1 hour after midnight. But this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar has been sent to the 16th.
That's right. And while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbrokers that night.
Order! How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zeeks? Barely. I'm plastered. You couldn't tell, Your Honor. If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection.
What?
Oh my god. But you'll forgive me for flinging my hollow chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street.
Ah! Take it easy there, Governor. We're not gonna land us on the scoop.
We got a deal. You weren't gonna get into them details. Tell him, Sulky. Set the bloke straight.
I have nothing to add.
So he knew, did he? Van Zeeks knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes.
It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude.
What do you mean?
What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zeeks? As has been established, at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brother's gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim. Oh, bugger, that does, doesn't it?
Ugh!
In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windybank at all. Yo, Queen, welcome back!
So that's it.
the handshake where you just miss every single one. Look at their dumb faces.
That's it. We didn't have nothing to do with it.
We didn't, Nan, we didn't. That's what I reckon.
Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and, let us not forget, attempted murder.
Put a catalog, eh, fellas? Yeah.
I'm in for it now, bruv.
And now, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. ColeHillChills. It would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly.
Where is he going with this?
Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric? Says who?
Not me. Don't give me that look.
He installed a pair of machines that look like this one in the victim's shop.
Oh! That's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device.
Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed.
The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the evidence on the night in question. Okay. As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in quite desultory fashion. Rather prodigal, I feel. In fact, there are 2 such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer to the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here. You say these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that they would be criminal lingerers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera.
Not a bit old. Friar Tuck, eh, bruv? Lady loves a soaking.
Witnesses, at what time did you trespassing begin?
Hey, must have been after 1, right, bruv? Must have been, Nash, must have been. Yeah, just gone 1.
In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment, what scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence. Oh. Good lord! Wow, right at 1. That is unfortunate. It's the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. That is super unfortunate for us, as the court can clearly see. The accused is pictured, gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter. No doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom. Quite! One can only too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence, if you please, counsel. Okay.
Hug.
I don't believe it, Ginny.
In short, the accused is the only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Windybank. It was like he shot him. I say, my lord.
Wonder if I might put in a word at this point.
Go ahead, Foreman.
Take a bally bullet to the knee in the Battle of Maywand, 1880, don't you know? Decorated for it and all and that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, a medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield.
Yes, Foreman, and what exactly is your point?
Carry on the battle after retirement, you see. The battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now, leading this small squadron. 6 men, all good and true.
He's leading this squadron.
And we'll all go down together. Mark my words, one for all for one.
Yes, Teresa, what's up? Did you not get the remakes of Pokemon? No, I don't have money. I'd like to, but no. Sadly, no. I hope so. I hope I'll get Arceus at least. I really want to get that one. Although I was the most excited for Diamond and Pearl. Like, that was the first game I played, so like I really wanted to revisit it, but money. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we are to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct?
In a manner of speaking, yes. That is the Gyarados squadron position, sir.
What? No, it's too soon to make it.
Status report for the court men, on the double.
His lordship insists on promptitude of all times, and that goes for making decisions too.
Yuck! I think I'll find the truth as clear as day now. I can reach out and touch it.
I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember.
Situation, clear, stop, no room for doubt, stop, truth now, undeniable, stop.
I am very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky.
Wait. I'm Jamanya. I am very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky. I couldn't remember how he voiced him. Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning in his matter. Announce your considered verdicts to the court.
Guilty.
Oh.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Ew.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Oh.
Guilty.
Guilty. Oh, he's evil. Oh, I see. Guilty and Jamanya. Very evil. I like that. It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous in its leaning already.
That photograph! It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned.
But Ginny didn't shoot him.
No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination.
Very well. The court grants permission. So, you refuse to admit defeat again. How uninspiring. Unsurprising. We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman, are all members of the jury ready?
Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, chops.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Dum, dum, dum. Judicial summation. And that's where we're gonna leave stream off, guys. Well, I'll make sure I'll actually save. Yee. Okay, I gotta say, these two Dumb and Dumber characters are my favorite people so far. They're so funny. Oh my god, the way they look at the detective, their facial expressions, it's so good. It's so good. Anyways, everyone, I hope you had a great time, and I hope to see you guys on Thursday. Have a terrific night, everybody. Peace out. Bye-bye.